VUCA, V for volatility, building the plane while flying is a key phrase that I reflect on while I started building the automation practice here at TCS amidst the backdrop of MOG and budget constraints. The combination of volatility can seem daunting, but it also presents us with a unique opportunity for innovation, efficiency, and resilience. From Elevate program, I picked up some key guidance that helped me to align with overarching goals of government and build a cross-functional team that can sustain, leverage technological partners to deliver value through automation. There are some common misconceptions that automation can replace human labors entirely, but that's not true. From the Elevate programs, I picked up some key unique techniques to address this by educating and creating awareness on the capabilities and limitations, thereby conducting comprehensive assessments of the existing process and identifying the areas where automation can make real impact. In conclusion, I learned volatility inspires us to harness the power of technology to make our government more efficient, resilient, and response to our needs of the customer.
Uncertainty is a concept that has really been on my mind since the very first Leading for Impact session. It's a word that's become all too familiar in our lives, especially here at DCS. In fact, if there's one thing we can really be certain of since April is that we're living in a world of uncertainty. During our coursework and discussions, I realised that uncertainty certainly isn't something to be feared, but rather embraced. It's a topic that directly relates to the challenges we face in our day-to-day leadership roles. Manny mentioned something earlier that really resonated with me, and it's the idea that uncertainty can be a powerful motivator. That is, building the plane whilst flying it can certainly be a catalyst to innovate. My immediate team were deeply impacted by uncertainty. We were uncertain about a range of issues, from the budget outcomes to the machinery of government and more. And then I made a decision that was both bold and uncertain. I stepped into a new interim role as Director of Workplace and Property over this time. From the Elevate program, I carried with me some really valuable principles that Lindsay taught us about how to deal with uncertainty. Instead of shying away from it, I learned to use it as a driving force. I began to see uncertainty as an opportunity to invest in information. I started collecting, sharing, and interpreting data before making decisions. But I didn't stop there. I shared this approach with my old and new teammates. I encouraged them to understand their circle of influence while navigating uncertain waters. I believe that in times of uncertainty, it's crucial to focus on what we can control and influence. Finally, uncertainty isn't our enemy. It's actually our ally in the journey of leadership and personal growth. It challenges us to adapt, learn, and make informed decisions. So I've made it a part of my ethos to continue to lean into uncertainty, make it my motivator, and run toward it with confidence.
Thanks, Debs, for that wonderful information given to me. I'm here today to talk about complexity in the VUCA model here, and we're talking about some really interesting times here at Department of Customer Service, whole of government, with all the changes, particularly around the budget, MOGs, and how people are impacted. In the VUCA model, you look at complexity, and it's all these other factors. There are so many out there that intertwine with each other. The idea is to peel it back and to make it very simple and straightforward, almost like a to-do list, but steps on how to get to the end result. The idea of complexity in nature is that it's complex, in that there are things that we just don't know, which put a question mark to it. However, slow and steady wins the race. In terms of you look at these items, each one individually, and say, okay, what is it? What is the next step? How can I give not just certainty, but actually write it down in a list to turn something that's quite complex into something very straightforward and very easy to read and understand. Take the budget, for example, a complex web of numbers, projects, capital expenditure, operational expenditure. The idea is to intertwine it all together into one document, or several in this case for the infrastructure, etc. But really one document on how everyone can read it, universal, and understand what are the next steps from a complex situation to quite a simple and straightforward next step scenario.
And in following on from Michael, I'll touch on the A in VUCA, ambiguity. This is about the approaches we use to provide and communicate direction, stability, and purpose to our staff, teams, colleagues, and peers during periods of organisational change. To me, this is our why, our flag on the hill, our compass and values at the department. And this then cascades down through the organisation to us as individuals, and then we can see how we fit into that bigger picture of the DCS strategy, our care and belonging, diversity and inclusion. In taking a step back, I came in to elevate with curiosity, open to learning and connecting with my peers as we, took on a blended theory practice approach to learning with embedding the principles and skills. What really resonated for me is understanding and communicating the why. The why is the key part of onboarding new staff and building a team. In onboarding and setting my team up for success, to me it was about creating a safe environment for them to learn and grow in their role, be risk takers, not risk makers, in understanding our role and purpose and the boundaries of our decision making. This is about our why, being trusted governance business partners to the divisions we support to enable the business to kick the goals they need to kick in delivering on their promises to the department and the broader community as part of executing our strategy and commitment to the communities we serve. It is as well about adapting and evolving our priorities as we go through this period of change. For example, I've looked to create safe spaces for my team by framing work as a learning problem and linking it back to the purpose of our team and to the bigger picture of the DCS strategy, and recognising we're, as individuals, we're at different stages in our careers and that it is safe to take risk. It is safe to experiment. It's about learning rather than focusing on the execution. In conclusion, VUCA is a great tool that provides a structure to help make sense of a changing worldview. Key is focusing on the why, our purpose, communicating with clarity, acknowledging we may not have all the answers or facts in making decisions, yet we can communicate our why to staff with a view to reduce ambiguity as we navigate and adapt to our evolving priorities and operating environments.